Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be what I've picked up in the past week or so from HMV, CEX and Amazon. So as you might recall, I was going to change the way I was going to do my shout-outs. They were going to be like a new format. So this is going to be the first video with this new format on.
Thanks John for lending me the Mondo mob for a minute or so. So I'm Andy, Electric Geek, or that's what my channel's called anyway, and on my channel I mainly cover 4K Blu-ray reviews. I do kind of haul videos and I do home cinema tech, I do live streams as well, of which John has been a guest on, so hopefully John will leave a link in the description for the ones that we kind of featured in if you just want to come over and see more John. But yeah, I'm a big fan of John's channel actually, and he's definitely kind of inspired me with some of my content. So chances are, if you like John's content, you might like some of the stuff I'm putting out also. I mean, if you can understand John's accent, then hopefully you can understand mine as well, so that's a bonus.
Where's my ladders?
If you want a video to kind of sample what I'm all about, then one of my favourite films is Robocop, and I did a 4K Blu-ray review on this Arrow release of Robocop that kind of went down quite well and got me some views, or more than I normally get anyway. So maybe jump into that video and see how you like it. But thanks for giving me this opportunity, John, just to kind of jump on and plug my channel. I much appreciate it, mate, and we need to do another live stream or video in the near future. Back to you in the studio, John.
And I want to thank Andy once again for sending that video across to me. Now I think this might be a good way to showcase the person that I'm going to talk about. Sometimes when I give shout outs and I point down below to say, you know, go and check this channel out, you might not get a flavour of that channel. Now I thought with the channel actually coming on here and talking a little bit about themselves, giving themselves a little bit of what they do, and maybe showcasing a few things at the areas that they're going to, it might pique your interest more than just saying check that link out down below. You might actually see the person. You might think, I'd see what I like, so I'll go and visit that channel and see what they're all about. Now I'm going to leave a link to Andy's channel, obviously. I'm going to leave a link to the things he was talking about in there, and we had a great time on the live stream that Andy's talking about. And I feel that I really want to get into doing a live stream again with Andy, because I was so welcomed onto his channel. And so do check those videos out down below. The Robocop as well is brilliant, and also the live streams. And once again, please get over to ElectricGeek's channel and check him out, because for me he's a great channel and a great bloke as well. So thanks a lot, Andy. So first up from CEX for £1.50 I got Total Recall, the remake. Now this is a 2-disc extended director's cut, not that I knew it existed, and it's in perfect condition. And this movie, I've been told, I had no intention of watching this movie previously, but I've been told of quite a few people that say, look, it's not as good as the Arnie one, of course it isn't, but it's a decent watch, and do sort of check it out, because it's not as bad as people might think. So on the note of that, I thought, yeah, I will check it out. So when I saw it for £1.50, I thought, yeah, I'll get that. Also, a big shout out to my good friend Michael Hewitt. We have got a great unboxing from Michael Hewitt coming up very soon, so keep an eye out for that one. He sent me over some slipcases, and obviously this was one of them. I knew I had this in the collection, so I thought of the slipcases, and I thought, yeah, I'll go and get that one. Because the slipcase will go straight with the top of that, look nice on the shelf. And I do want to watch this one, and when I put it on, actually, I've got to say the picture quality on here was quite good, and the special effects on here was much better than I thought they were going to be. So yeah, so this is, and I'm pleased to get this director's cut. It might be better than the other cut. I have no knowledge about it really, but I do know that I'm going to give it a free pass and see how it goes, because it might not be as bad as I previously thought it would be, and I'm going to treat it as a separate film to the Arnie version, and just go in and just say, well, can you entertain me? So that's a big shout out to Michael Hewitt. That's Total Recall. So coincidentally enough, with Andy being at the start of this video, sort of promoting his channel, I picked up for £10 Moon Age Daydream. Now Andy is a huge fan of Bowie. Well, who isn't? And I've been thinking about this video for quite a while, thinking about this movie, thinking I wonder if it's ever out in physical. And I saw this the other day in CEX, and I've been twice to CEX, and I saw it and I thought I will maybe pass on it. I want to check out to see if this is actually the one I was thinking about, and it was the movie I was thinking about, the recent one that's came out. And I think this is a kind of one of the first ones to be officially sanctioned by the Bowie estate, and this is full apparently of really like rare archive footage. And when I put it on just to check it, I mean obviously the picture quality is a bit up and down because of where they're getting this stuff from, But the things that I'd saw on this, the clips that I looked at were things I'd never seen before, and I've seen loads of stuff to do with David Bowie over the years. Been a huge fan, well, I still am a huge fan of him. In fact, my favourite album of all time is The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie. So very excited to see this one. I love stuff like this. When you get a good one, I love stuff like this. And this one promises to be a really good one. And I'm just looking at the cover there. Sam Smith, anybody? Yeah, we'll not go into that one. But anyway, so very, very happy to get this one. And I do want to really check this out quite quickly. That's Moon Age Daydream. So as I mentioned before, I went to CEX a couple of times last week. And the first time I saw this movie, and I thought, it's an Arrow movie, I've definitely got it. When I come back out of the shelves, I haven't got it. And anyway, so when I saw it there for £10, I thought, I wish I got it, because it's got the booklet, it's got everything in it, and it's in great condition. So I went up a couple of days later and went to CEX, and I said, I'm just going to take a look and see if that's in there. And it was in there still, and it was £8. So that was a good little score. So for £8, I bought Death Has Blue Eyes. Now this is a movie by Nico Mastorakis, and he is a fella who made Island of Death. I think this is the movie that came out before Island of Death. And as soon as I like his movies, actually, I've got quite a few of them when I think about it. The space between Arrow and 88, they've got quite a few of his movies out, and to be honest, I enjoy them all. Now this looks like a great exploitation movie, as I would imagine you would always get from this director. Now, what I'm going to say is that the booklet's quite graphic, so I won't go into details with the graphic. It's got reversible art there, which is very exploitational, as you can see. This movie will be exploitational, as all of his movies at that time, especially Iron and Death, are very exploitational, to say the least. This movie has got two options on how to watch it. You can watch it full screen, or you can watch it widescreen. Now, with the widescreen, you will get the top and the bottom cropped off the picture. The full screen has got a lot more information on than the widescreen one, so I always watch the full screen one because that's the way it was actually shot and intended to be seen. So anyway, I put it on, and I thought, I bet this movie, because Island of Death looks quite good. It doesn't look brilliant, but it looks a lot better than the pre-cert ever did. So I put this on, and I've got to say this movie looks one of the best Blu-rays I've ever seen. The colours on here, I couldn't believe what I was watching. And the reds, everything like that, we'd imagine the picture quality is so sharp. So I was stunned at how good this movie was going to look. I thought it would look adequate, which I'm not too bothered about, but they've done an amazing job on this movie. So I can't wait to watch this, because I am a big fan of Nico Mastorakis, and I think all the movies I've watched of him so far, I've watched them all. So yeah, so I think this will be one of those ones where if it's anything like the Island of Death, it'll be highly watchable. So that's Death Has Blue Eyes. So some of the more eagle-eyed viewers will notice I've got a Mogwai t-shirt on, because me and the Debs went to see them the other day.
Hey, how's it going? The Mogwai from Glasgow, Scotland. It's great to be here in Gateshead.
Got to say, we had an absolute blast going to see them. It was just so great to see them in the Sage, which is a great venue. Can't wait to see them again. And was it loud? Was it not? The noise in a Mogwai concert is like something you've never heard before. They can play a solo, and they can play like a sonic boom. Now, we didn't stand next to speakers like we did the last time when we saw them. We were deafened for a little bit 4 days afterwards. It was still noisy, but at least we could think the next day. But honestly, if you get the chance to go and see Mogwai, I do really recommend them. And also, what I'll say is that I'll leave a link down below to one of their songs. Now, it's going to be called San Pedro, and they're playing it live on American TV, like one of these late night shows. And do check it out if you want to know what they're all about. They do usually play instrumentals. They don't play many songs with singing in it. I mean, they played 13 songs, and only 3 of them had singing in, which doesn't bother me because I know that's the way they are. And yeah, they played some of my favourite songs. They played Christmas Steps, and they played Two Wrongs Make One Right. And I'll put a clip, just look at that clip if you want to know what Mogwai are all about, and you'll see like the power of them as well. And I do think this is a great introduction to see what you're looking at if you want to go and maybe check them out live. So that's highly recommended, Mogwai. So next up from Amazon via Music Magpie, I've got Yes Madam for £20. This movie is sensational. As you know, me and the Debs are huge fans of Michelle Yeoh, and I think she's slowly getting a fan of Cynthia Rothrock as well as I am. I mean, I've been a fan of hers for a long time. But this movie here, this is an amazing edition. The picture quality on here is stunning. Me and the Debs watched it the other day, and I'll tell you about, or what thought about it on what I've watched in the month of February. But I knew I had to get this version. Now, spoiler alert, John Hall came along and he had a box, he had some DVDs of Asian cinema. And this was one of them, the DVD of this. And we were going to watch it, but I thought, you know what it is, I'm not intrigued by it. I just want to get this one before it sells out. Because I know this is getting a little bit hard to get these days, especially with the slipcover. And I knew I wanted to get this amazing slipcover. Because when Eureka do a slipcover, they're just absolutely incredible. So this movie, highly recommended if you can get your hands on it, and do know that you're going to see some great martial arts, especially from Cynthia Rothrock on this movie. She's literally on fire with her moves. And also you get a making of, because I watched the making of in here, from Cynthia Rothrock from now, talking about this movie, and I tell you what, she looks great now, never mind, this is from 1985. So she must be really keeping herself fit and active, and I would love to see a modern day movie of hers, and I just thought I just enjoyed everything about this. It's funny as well, actually it's a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be, but anyway, I'll talk about that more at the end of the month. So that's Yes Madam. So next up from HMV, I got Scary Movie. No, not that one. This is from the Agfa range, which you'll see over there. This is spine number 15, although it's not numbered 15, but it's the 15th release, so you can tell by the little code on the bottom. So this movie's from 1991. I put it on. Don't know anything about these movies that I'm getting from there. There's only a few in there that I've ever heard of, but I always have a great time with this range. And I do feel like they're a bit like a cheap version. That's not taking anything away from them. Cheap version of Vinegar Syndrome, because these are movies that Vinegar Syndrome do release these type of movies as well. Even these movies in there you can get on Vinegar Syndrome, some of them. So this range, for the most part, the quality doesn't look that good in them. But I always find that the movies are pretty watchable and a bit of a blast. Now, when I put this one on to check the quality of it, I've got to say that the picture quality here was much better than I thought it was going to be. It's very colourful, and it's not as scratchy as most of them. So, to be honest, I was expecting a lot less than this one. And the picture's full screen as well. So, it hasn't got an option to watch it widescreen, but, I would always watch it the way the director intended. So this movie here is one of those ones that, literally, like I say with these ones, don't know anything about them, but I haven't watched them all, but I've watched most of them, and I always got a blast with them. So as well, great cover, know nothing about it, but really want to check it out. So that's Scary Movie. So when 101 Films releases these Agfa titles, they usually release 2 at one go. So the other one released is sort of like the 16th one they've released in this section, is Wakaliwood Super Action. It's got 2 movies on here, Who Killed Captain Alex and Bad Black. Now, it does say in the back that this is ultra low budget, and there's low budget, there's no budget, and there's ultra no budget, and this one must be lower than them all. Now, weirdly enough, I don't think I've seen these movies at all, but I do think that I've seen a movie like it on Sky once. Now, what it is, as far as I can tell, is these movies are made in sort of like Nigeria or Ghana, and what happens is the ones I saw on the TV there was no subs on it, and you couldn't really understand anything that was going on because it wasn't dubbed or anything. Now this one here, I think one of them is dubbed and are subtitles, and this one has like a narrator over the top of it talking about what's going on in the movie. And if I had to guess, although it does say something about this being about $200, they rarely exceed $200 for the actual budget for these movies. And to be honest, I can't even see how they spent $200 on it. It is the lowest budget movie I have ever seen. But I remember actually being quite intrigued by the one I saw on Sky, whenever that was, a long time ago. And these ones here look exactly the same as that. I mean, these people probably haven't ever acted. Like I would say, I think these are very niche to the country that they're made from. And I don't think that these would have been widely seen at all, apart from in their country of origin. But I really, when I put it on, I thought this could be very entertaining in the way it was made. And Big Black actually looked, the fact you had the subtitles on, and I think these are very exploitational, but I'm really interested to see how the exploitation from this particular country does it. So that's quite a strange one to be looking forward to, the fact that this movie is probably the lowest budget movie I've got in my whole collection, and it really looks that way. These are from 2010 and 2016. So there you go, and it does say something about Best Action Director. Now I don't know when that was from or where it was from, but it's, yeah, wow. So intrigued, to say the least. That's the Wakaliwood Super Action Volume 1. So next I went across to the 4K section, and they had the 2 for £30 sale on again. There's a few titles in there that I hadn't got previously, but I wanted to get in the sale, because that's how I usually get my 4Ks from HMV. So the first one I got was Casablanca. Now I saw a recent review from this movie from Keith from Euphoria Pictures, linked to his channel down below, and he had said that how stunned he was at the picture quality of this movie. Now I do own this on DVD, Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray looks very nice. So I thought, you know, I was really intrigued by getting this movie to watch. I was going to watch the Blu-ray, and I thought, hang on, I'll watch, because the 4K's come out. I'll have a look at it and see what people say, and Keith said it was great, so I thought, for me, that's good enough. So anyway, I got this and put it on, and yes, the picture quality here is stunning. Black and white movies, when they're done right with the HDR, it's the second to none. I just love them. And this is a movie that I've seen bits and pieces of back in the day. I haven't really fully sat down and took a lot of notice of this movie, but at this point I really do want to watch this movie like properly. And I'm a big fan of Humphrey Bogart, in a way, as my dad used to call him, Humphrey Go-Kart. Yeah, so this picture quality in here is brilliant, and I just love the fact that they went back and done a really good remaster of an old movie, because sometimes when you see these coming out and you hear they're not the best remaster, it's a bit of a letdown, isn't it? But I can say that all these movies here that I've got in the 4K, I've heard from various people, they all look stunning. So that's Casablanca. So the next movie I got in 4K, you can ask me, was I disappointed by the picture quality? And I'll have to tell you, nope. Now this, I've just seen that John Clancy, the movie collector, I'll put a link down to his channel down below. I'll put a link down to this video actually down below. I haven't watched it yet because I haven't watched this movie. I want to see what he thinks about this movie, because I knew that a lot of people, including Keith, had said that this movie looks sensational on 4K. So I don't know anything about the movie at all, and I've managed to stay away from spoilers, even though every time we went to the cinema at one point it seemed like they were putting like trailers on for this, not that to give anything away. And that's the way I would like to go into this movie. In fact, I'm a huge fan of Jordan Peele. All his other movies I really like. I know he's only probably done this as his third movie, and I will obviously watch this as soon as I can, because I want to avoid all the spoilers, because I've avoided them this long. But I do know when I put it on, the picture quality in here was sensational. Now it's set in the desert. The pictures, the bit that I put on, there's also some stuff at night time as well. The actual nighttime scenes in here were some of the best sort of like black levels I've ever seen. It's dark, but you can see every single thing in the picture. It's amazing, and can't wait to see this movie. But honestly, if you're thinking about getting a demo disc on the bits that I saw, so it's got Dolby Vision on the picture as well, and I'm a big fan of Dolby Vision at the minute, because with my telly, the OLED, for some reason the Dolby Vision setting on there just makes the movie just look like next level. So can't wait to watch this one, and that's nope. So the next one is a movie I've been on the fence with for a long time, and I've seen it 2 for £24 sale, and I was thinking about picking it up, and I never did. And I was watching the 4K Michelin Stars channel the other day. I'll leave a link down to his channel down below. I'll leave a link down to his video concerning this movie here, which tipped me over the edge, because when I saw his review and it talked about like what it looked like, I thought, yeah, I'm definitely getting that. So I got Flash Gordon. Now this, I love that cover. It's one of those covers, it's like super busy. I love busy covers. So I've heard a lot of people saying how good the picture quality is on here. So when I put it on to check it out, I've got to say I was blown away by it. The colours are the star of this, even though the picture, the quality is so sharp, it's unreal. Obviously there's some dodgy effects in here, and when the dodgy effects are on the screen, it takes the quality down a bit. It's like this matte stuff. I mean, it's all right, don't get us wrong. It doesn't take us out of the movie. And also, as everybody knows, this movie here is a remake of this movie, isn't it? Now, I'll tell you what, if there's anything that could do with a remaster, it's this one, because this one looks absolute garbage. But never mind. This one's obviously got part 2 on as well, which is, well, it's not that good. But the first one, I remember going to the picture to see this with my mates, and we just had such a blast with it. So funny, especially when you were a kid as well. We just thought everything here was hilarious. So if you're on the fence like I was with this movie, do look. It looks absolutely amazing. So that's Flesh.
Where's me ladders?
Flash Gordon. And lastly, in the 2 for £30 4K sale, and from HMV, I got Elvis. This has got an absolutely beautiful slip. It's one of those ones when you see it and you think, that looks incredible. So what I'm going to do with this movie is, I've watched it actually, watched it the other day. I'm going to do a separate video about this movie, and I'm not going to say anything about it now, apart from the picture quality in here is absolutely incredible. It's one of those ones where you just go, wow. It's got Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. It's got everything. So do know that the presentation of this is second to none. But I'm going to talk about, I'm a huge fan of Elvis, massive fan of Elvis, but what I want to do is, I want to do a separate video on what I think about this movie, like review of it. I'll not be too spoilery about it, but I just want to go into more detail on what I personally thought about this movie, knowing full well how I know Elvis's life story, like back to front. I've watched countless things to do with him, and I'm very interested to share my particular thoughts on this movie. So that should be coming up quite soon, and that's a rare review of one movie for me on my channel. But do know this movie looks absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for watching. You've been a beautiful audience, you really have. I'll see you next time. Cheers.